Welcome to your new journey of an entrepreneur, hosted by myself, Joyce Van Setters, and my friend Pete Moriello. With over 20 years of experience, we will be exploring this world of innovators, providing insights and advice to aspiring and current entrepreneurs. We'll share stories of success, failures, and all of the lessons we learned along the way. Get ready to break out of your comfort zone, but on the other side of this, you will be forever free.
Welcome to the Forever Free Space podcast. I am your host, Joyce Van Setters.
I am Pete Moriello.
And we created this space for aspiring and current entrepreneurs to get some cheat codes from thought leaders in their industry. And today we're excited because we have one of those thought leaders in-house with us. We have one of my good friends, Beth Nydick, who has over 20 years in media at NBC, MTV, Viacom, OPHRAH, VH1. We'll let her tell it. Beth, welcome to the show.
I am so happy to be here. I'm not only because I love you and I love being in a room with you, but to really talk about those cheat codes that entrepreneurs can use. And I know your audience. I know that they want to use the stuff right away. They want that tangible task. So let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
I like that.
So Beth, to start, I always want to know, like, when someone's an entrepreneur, how did they grow up? Like, were you from an entrepreneur family? Did you just like get thrown into entrepreneurship, or were you just like one of those people? I'm not working a 9 to 5. I want to be an entrepreneur.
I was the girl on the playground selling stickers.
So you were an entrepreneur in school,
right? Selling. Remember the barrettes?
Yes.
With, like the ribbons that came down.
Yeah, and the combs.
Yeah, the combs are back in.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that.
Stop.
I just bought some. Actually, my parents are entrepreneurs.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
okay.
My dad didn't go to college. He went to 2 years of like engineering school, bought a car wash, I want to say in 66, and has had multiple businesses, all entrepreneurial. He is not retired. He will never retire.
Wow,
but I grew up in a house where literally 1986, my dad's like, I have an idea, and puts it into practice. He wanted to bring people to Israel for vacations and that kind of stuff. And he grew it into one of the biggest, most recognized travel agency, travel company. And he did that since 86 until COVID.
Wow.
Very successful company. But in my house, it was, you have an idea, let's go figure it out.
Right.
What can you do next? I actually had this conversation with my mom today because I've just been asked recently, how did you get here? Where did this come from? And I was like, sorry guys, I was born into it. Like, it was just how my house was. At lemonade stand, washing the dog, washing the car, whatever it was. I liked to make money. You like to make, we all like to make money. And it was really, I was just brought up in it. My sister is not an entrepreneur. My brother is.
Okay.
But now I'm seeing my kids kind of start their own.
Really?
Yeah, their own thing. Because my older one has said to me recently, like, whenever I think I can't do this, I remember what you created in our living room.
Wow.
Which is what?
This is my third digital business.
That's amazing.
You know, I have been published. I've been on national TV. I've been nationally recognized. I have a best-selling book. You know, all the stuff that everybody wants.
Let's talk about this book real quick. I want to get into this because this was a book that I had on my coffee table. If you're into fitness and you're into drinking, this is your book. This is your book.
It's your Bible.
So yeah, if you want to know how clean you can get a cocktail, we're gonna let Beth tell it.
That's very important.
This is just amazing. When did you do this?
That came out December 2017.
Okay.
But it was born in 2016. My husband and I had a Cinco de Mayo party, and I fashioned myself after Martha Stewart. So we had made taken limes and took out the middle and put Jello shots in them. That's the kind of party we had.
I love it. And I wasn't invited to this.
next time. The next couple weeks we'll have another one. And I was a bartender for a second in college, but I could never drink those mojitos and margaritas. It was just too much sugar for my body would react.
Yeah.
So having this party in my house, I made 2 cocktails, and my girlfriends were like, these are amazing. What's in them? Honey syrup we used, coconut syrup, we used date syrup.
So you kind of replaced all of the sugars.
All the sugars, and they were like, these are amazing. And then the next weekend when I was out, somebody asked me about the drinks because a friend of mine had mentioned it. And then I was like, this is a book. And I started doing research, and I started seeing how places in California, because I don't know if you know this, but food comes from California across the country.
Yeah.
And how the cocktail menus were different in California. They didn't have simple syrups. They didn't have blue curacao. They didn't have all this stuff.
Right. They use a lot of agave, right?
Use a lot of agave, which I don't like either. But it was simpler ingredients. So I started talking about it, and I started telling my friends about it. And then I was like, who wants to do this book with me? Like literally, I had 4 meetings with friends of mine. I have an idea for a book. I would lay out the idea, and if they called me, which none of them did, I would like, okay, let's go do it. And I met my co-writer, Tara Rossioli, Highway to Wells, her company. She's amazing.
How'd you meet her? She's not a friend. She wasn't like a direct friend.
No, not at all. We were both vendors at a wellness fair at a law office in Short Hills.
Stop.
I liked her. I said to her, like, let's have coffee. I have like an idea. And she thought I was going to pitch her like a detox. Let's do a detox together. And I was like, no, let's get published. Right. Let's have a book. It was a good idea. It was timely. It's worked.
It's a great idea.
Our audience, because at that time I was a health coach, and I know I've done a lot of things. And my clients were like, well, but can I have a drink? And I was like, yeah, you can have these drinks. And they would go crazy over them. So but unbeknownst to me, Tara had a friend who was a New York Times bestseller. She introduced us to her agent. Her agent liked the idea. And I think 6 months later we had a book deal, and 8 months later we had a book.
This is a great idea, actually, because you had just mentioned before we went on macros and all this other stuff. I mean, like, people like dread going on diets and stuff because like, oh, I can't drink anymore, I can't have fun anymore, I can't do anything anymore. But at least they can make something a little cleaner, and then don't feel as guilty, right? Yeah,
no guilt. And there's actually a chapter for Zero Proof. Well, now we call it Zero Proof. Yeah. Before it was mocktails.
Right, mocktails.
I don't drink anymore, not by choice. My body said no. My body was like, you're done. And there's beautiful Zero Proof cocktails in the back. And what I've been doing for the past 5 years is TV to that. The pandemic was great for the book because I got to be on Tennessee Morning News and Kentucky Morning News. And my kids were like, why is mom making cocktails at 9 o'clock in the morning? I'm like, do not tell your teachers. Don't tell your, because when I was making the book, I was like, do not tell your teachers that you came home and mommy was drunk, because I had to test the drinks.
You had to test.
And I'm a lightweight. So it was,
Right.
But yeah,
somebody's got to do it.
We have beautiful cocktails in there. It's still doing really well. I just did New York TV twice this year already about the book.
Amazing.
I actually got an email today. This is today from KTLA.
Did you?
Yeah. Wow. And I'm going to be in LA in May.
Nice.
So I'll let you guys know.
Congrats.
Cool.
After our Cinco de Mayo party, right?
After. Okay. But I had sent 120 emails last week to morning shows around the country in all different markets. And I got some back. But KTLA for me, like, that's one of the ones that I really would like.
So that's a good segue into people thinking that, like, let's say they send out 5 or 10 emails and get no's. 5 or 10, right? Hysterical. Exactly. And then they get no's and get discouraged. Like, how do you stay strong with that?
Well, I created something called the FAME formula, which essentially is a system or a schedule you put into your business so that you can not only do the research, you can pitch, you can follow up, but it's all out there. Because usually what happens is it's not like a appointment in their calendar, right? It's not, okay, on Monday from 2 to 3, I'm going to do this kind of research for PR.
Right.
They just don't do it. So when you have that system in your business, you're able to then create the longevity and the consistency of doing it. But when it comes to sending pitches, I'm often, like, when I'm speaking in a room, I'm like, raise your hand if you sent a pitch. Everyone raises their hand. Keep your hand up if you replied 5 times to that person when they did not answer you, and everyone takes it down. We're from Jersey. Yeah. I don't stop emailing somebody till I get a no.
Yeah. Just sending this back to the top of your
mailbox. Not even that. Like, when you think about pitching the media, I always say to my clients this. They get 1,000 emails a day. Do you think they read your one pitch you sent them?
Right.
No.
Just keep sending it. Not like I'm taking this to the top or I'm doing that.
Right.
Just keep sending until you get a yes. And if you get a no, then you change the topic and you do it again. One of my
change the subject or the
topic? like if you're pitching cocktails.
Right.
Next month, pitch Zero Proof cocktails. Or if you're pitching weight loss, next month do clean weight loss. Whatever it is, but change. That topic isn't hitting them enough to take you on. Try another topic. It doesn't mean try another person or go somewhere else. But it's all in the follow-up. I don't know why pitching's so popular. I think follow-up should be much more popular.
Follow-up is definitely better.
Yeah.
Yeah, because pitching's easy, and then you give up.
Yeah, I just don't know why. It's like if you were trying to get a job or you were trying to do anything, would you give up after one try?
Yeah.
Well,
I think,
not as
But
Jersey
the majority
girls.
of people do give up after
Yeah,
the first
I think
try.
when
They get
people-
discouraged.
You can as an entrepreneur.
You can't.
You can't.
You can't.
I
But I
agree.
think that people, when they look for their formulas, or you go on Google, YouTube, whatever, I think the formula is always send a pitch first. So I think that's why. But I think that's great. Backwards,
Yeah.
the follow up is more important.
Well, the focus also is just pitching.
Yeah.
Which
The
my
focus
program's
should be
different. When I
follow-up.
do, I have my program is called the Fame Lab. It's a 6-month high touch program, and what it does is it walks you through all those pieces of how. Like, it's great to get on Good Morning America, but if it's going to bankrupt your company, it's not a great idea,
Right.
right? Or people say to me, "I want to be in Business Insider, Fast Company." What's the other one? Forbes.
Forbes.
And
yeah.
my question is always, why? Are you going to get real estate clients from being in Forbes?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Or maybe. I don't know.
Right? Like,
Maybe one.
unless you're featured. If you're a columnist, like,
Right.
what are you
Or
going to
you're
get?
like in a top 10.
Right, like you should be in Self isn't around anymore, but you should be in all the health magazines, right? I always say when I used to do food, I'd be like, I'm not going to be on the Barefoot Contessa's anything because I don't eat like that and I don't
Right.
talk like that. Or Rachel Ray with all the butter, she makes me crazy. But right, it's understanding like where you should be, and then about creating that relationship. But it's that long term follow up, and also in that is that's a person you're trying to pitch.
Yeah.
Like, let's get back to like the brass tacks of being an entrepreneur. That's a person you're trying to pitch. That's a person who's trying to give you something. And you're trying to get something. And when I change the focus to, if you're a TV producer, you need me to keep your job. Like, let's take the
Right.
power from where it is.
Right.
Right. Your job is to get people watching your show. So somebody like me is going to help you because your audience is going to watch me through the commercials.
So you said something that I think is an actual cheat code that I think people don't realize. You said you should be focusing on where you actually should be instead of trying to get on the biggest network or magazine out there.
Yeah.
Right. So if I'm focused on, I want to be getting Forbes, like that, I'm not going to get any new clientele from that.
Not unless your people are reading Forbes and looking
Right.
for you.
Probably not.
So the other cheat code to couple with that is ask your people. Like, literally.
Yeah.
Email your people and say, hey guys, I'm working on my visibility.
Yeah.
I want to up-level my brand and my business because everybody else is.
Yeah.
Right?
I do this all the time,
Right?
actually. Yeah.
Ask them what they're reading, watching, and listening to for your kind of information.
Yeah.
You're gonna learn about podcasts you don't know about, magazines you don't know about,
Yeah.
platforms you don't know about.
That's a
yeah.
great
I
idea.
bet you they're not gonna say Forbes.
Probably not.
Because I don't know I don't read that. I don't know who reads it.
No, I don't read that either.
And any national or top level media I've ever gotten is for credibility.
Right.
It is not for cash.
Right.
So if you're interested in cash, let's pull back and figure out where you should be
Interesting.
or what that looks like.
Yeah. So if I were to talk to Beth's classmates, what would they tell me about you?
She has a big mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this has been me for a long time. Most of
Yeah.
my friends I've been friends with them for like 20 plus years.
Yeah.
And they're like, there she goes again, creating something, doing something.
Does that bother you when people say that? Here
No,
she goes again? No.
Not
Okay.
like, watch me.
Yeah.
This conversation I had with my mom today.
Yeah.
My grandmother was one of the first female teachers in New Jersey.
No.
She was one of the first women in college for teaching.
Wow.
She was born in 1918, around there.
Yeah.
Right? So, and she had 3 sons, and she was a very strong personality. And
No.
my mom, my sister, like, it's all strong personalities. God bless my children's wives. I don't know what's going to happen there, but we're from Jersey, and I'm a middle child.
Right.
Like, all this stuff kind of comes
Middle child
in
syndrome, right?
because I was watching the Barbie movie with my husband because I wanted to get his opinion, to be honest. And there's America Ferrera.
I haven't seen it.
So America Ferrera does this whole monologue of like, you can be pretty, but not that pretty. And you can be this, but not this. It's like all the struggles. And because we've never worked in corporate,
Right.
a lot of that struggles didn't happen for me. And the thought process that a lot of women have, we just don't have because
Right.
I know you well enough. We were taught to say what we thought and to be upfront
You're right.
and to like not hide. Because when I talk to women in my programs, they're like, well, I was taught to like be in the corner and be pretty.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, let's get baby out of the corner because
Right.
we're not
There
doing
we
that
go. I
anymore.
do
That's
know
not
that
where we
movie.
go, right? and my dad also holds women in very high esteem.
He does. Okay.
I said car washes. Women were inside. We were at the cash register. We were in the office.
Yeah.
And not because we couldn't be outside, because it was cold and wet, and
Right.
girls don't have to do that.
Exactly.
We're not better than men, but it
Right.
was just so I was never
You were more
taught
catered
that.
to.
So yeah, and I was very privileged. So I didn't have that thing in the back of my head telling me, no, why should you do this? It was like, why shouldn't I do this? Why shouldn't I talk my way into the limelight when I was 18?
Exactly.
Why shouldn't I talk my way into first class on a plane? Right? Like, why not?
Why not? If not you, then who?
Right. If not me, nobody. So why not me?
Exactly. Tell me about your first business.
You mean the stickers?
No, your first lucrative business. Although I don't know how much money. I don't know how much money you made with those stickers. Stickers were balling back in the day,
That was
right?
lucrative.
Back in our day, stickers were balling. The sticker books. I mean, right?
I had a babysitting business.
Did you?
Yeah, I had a babysitting business.
Were you hired babysitters to go out and babysit?
Yep, I did it for a little while. But my first like real business was Beth's Blueprint. Now I say it out loud. It's such a funny name.
Blueprint.
Beth's Blueprint. It started out as
it doesn't work well with my braces.
Blueprint. It was Blueprint for Health and Wellness, like the longest URL ever.
Yeah.
And I had gone to integrative nutrition.
Did they even give you a .com at this point?
Yeah, it was .com. So I changed it to Beth's Blueprint, and then but I really wanted to like just be a blogger and just be an influencer and be in the health space. And my thing was about like easy, simple meals. But it turned into a food influencer. So I would get boxes of PR food
sent
to me, and my kids would like eat it. I can't have dairy, so I could eat none of it. Okay. It was usually chocolate and stuff. But I realized what a product and a voice together, what that means. And that's really where I think I leaned back into me being a producer or me working in TV because I understood what the amplification of that could mean for a business.
What do you mean when you say what a product and a voice means together?
So, okay, I have a product. If I don't put a voice to it, if I don't put a feel to it, if I don't, like when you see this pink cover, if you don't feel something, I'm not selling it.
Got it.
And what voice am I going to give this so that I can go out in the world and talk about it?
Got it.
So, and if you're talking about personal brand, like what's your personal brand?
Right.
Like what's your high level personal brand content about?
Right.
But then this is the trick. This is the tip. What is that message in your gut though? That you are not telling anybody, but you secretly know you should and you have to.
That story, yeah.
Right? Like for me, and I talk about this all the time, it's like you create your own possibility of success.
Yeah.
It's up to you to open your mouth and talk about it. If you look at my marketing, it's like I take you from undiscovered to unforgettable or whatever the F I'm talking about that day. But that message underneath for me, be bold, ask for what you want and go for it.
Right.
Which yours is similar.
Oh, yeah. I think people always get mixed up with, like I always say, your personal brand is what you put out there to the world. But people forget to involve their reputation.
True.
Which is what's really you.
Yeah.
Right? They don't involve that. That's you say that story. What are you not telling them? They don't really put in that reputation. It's just what you want the people to know.
Well, when I leave the room, I want people to say good things. When my name comes up, I want them to say good
she's
things.
Spicy.
Be like, shut up.
No, nobody shuts up in this podcast.
No, I don't. No. I never shut up.
No.
But it's what are you about that's different. I actually was on a call today, and this woman wrote amazing books about self-confidence. And I was like, where do you want to be in the media? Like, who do you want to be? And she's like, well, she just wasn't. And I was like, I can't even hear what you're going to say if you don't give it to me.
Right.
And then she stood up and then she gave it to me. It's like, who do you want to be known for? What do you want to be known for? And more importantly, how do you want people to feel when you leave the room?
Those are good questions. That's actually
that.
really good because I don't think people actually think about that when they're doing something.
Yeah.
Like we're just doing it just to do it and push it forward and be successful at whatever it is. And I don't think we think about those points. That's
we never go back to our stories.
Yeah.
That's what sells. Your authentic you. What are you about? What's going on? What are you? What are you bringing?
I agree.
And when I work with clients, you tell 4 stories. I know podcasters don't love this, but when I'm on a podcast, if you listen to my podcast, like all of them, I tell the same 4 stories. I say the same 4 things. And that's what my clients do too, because then I'm known for that stuff. I have a story about being on Dr. Oz. The last webinar I did, somebody in the chat was like, are you going to tell the Dr. Oz story? Yeah, I'm going to tell the Dr. Oz story. Of course I'm going to tell the Dr. Oz story. Like that's how I got started in TV.
I love it.
But people then know me for those stories. They know what I'm going to say. And then when they work with me, they know what I'm going to make them do.
Yeah.
Like my clients are a little scared of me.
They should be.
They should be. I'm going to make them do things that they're uncomfortable about.
Right.
And that's why they're your clients.
Exactly.
If it were easy, why would they be bored?
And they want somebody who's going to push them.
Yeah,
right?
that's what they're coming to you for, right?
Yeah, if you don't push people with training, they're not going to get anywhere.
They'll be bored. I
always, no results.
This is my thing. I've learned to meet people where they are So I'm never going to give anybody something that I would do to myself, but I'm also never going to give you something that I haven't done.
Right. Or they can't handle. Right away.
You know what they can handle.
You're like pulling them up by the strings. I actually had a new client. We had one meeting, and she wrote this post in her Instagram how I was the person she thought she was hiring. Because a lot of people get burned in what we do.
Yeah.
And if you're out there and you know you're not actually serving people, please go do something else.
Yeah.
It's hurting the rest of us.
And you're wasting your time and everybody else's too.
I had so many sales calls this go around where it's like, well, I paid this person and it didn't work, and I paid this person and it didn't work. And I don't know if it was them or the program, but when I'm like, but it works in my program because it's smaller and I really pay attention to you.
Right.
Like those big ones, you don't. Like there's all these different answers, but if you're not actually getting them a transformation, which I hate that word, but it's a transformation from where they are to where they could be.
A growth process.
Then you're not serving them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I open the door to people's possibility of who they can be and then help them get to be that person.
Yeah.
And that's what I've always loved to do. And that's why when I speak, I talk about being bold and asking for what you want and doing the things that are difficult. Well, because otherwise then I'm bored.
I love how you always ask why. And then people think, well, I don't know. Right?
I don't know. You
Like,
have to
why?
know. I don't know. Right. Why am I doing this?
Right.
I want to send my kids through college. And guess what? I'm a middle child and I like to be seen.
There you go. What made you want to get into TV?
I wanted to be an actress when I was little. So I went to a camp called French Woods that if anyone's listening that went to acting camp, they know exactly what I'm talking about. It was very overprivileged, like ridiculous sleepaway camp. One of the counselors was Sarah Jessica Parker. I'm not going to age myself, but it was the year of Square Pegs. It was before Square Pegs came out.
Really?
The lead singer of Maroon 5 went there. Wow. Like there's real people that came out of there.
Isn't he from West Orange?
No, that's Ian Zierings from West Orange, from 90210.
I don't know why I thought Maroon 5 guy was.
I forgot his name. He's cutie,
I do too.
but I forget his name.
Adam when he went to high school, he had like crazy acne.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. But he went there also. And I went there and I realized that I was getting nowhere because I couldn't sing. Like, you don't want me singing. It's bad. In 8th grade choir, they told me to shh.
We all can sing, just it's not good well. or you know.
Not well. So I was like, okay, but I still want to be in this entertainment business. I love TV. I've always watched a lot of TV. And then I got introduced to someone who was a TV producer. And of course, I picked their brain for 6 hours. And then I went to a studio. That was it. I was hooked. When that light goes on and that Chiron's up and my name's on it, or the script goes on.
Yeah, you opened up.
It's like being on stage. I just got chills. It's like being on stage, right? Like that adrenaline rush. And also for me, it's the idea that I'm impacting people I don't know, right? So I was on WPIX in New York, 500,000 viewers every day. Like 500,000 people saw me make a cocktail. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's super cool.
500,000 people now know that there's an option for zero proof if you don't want to drink.
Wow. Did you see Craig Treadway while you were up there? He's one of the anchors?
No, I know. Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
he's blowing up right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex Lee he's all over her show and all over her media. Yeah. I love those guys. They're really sweet. But for me it feeds all these different things that I need to be filled up so that I can go do what I'm doing. Have you ever heard of this exercise called 7 Layers Deep?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny that you say that. I just heard that on a podcast. So someone must have some podcast I was watching on YouTube, and someone was talking about that.
What is it? Break it down for me.
I got it from Dean Graziano. I don't know who started it.
Okay, this was a woman.
You ask yourself 7 questions. The first question is, why do you want to be successful? Do you want to do it?
Go ahead, Pete.
Yeah.
Why do you want to be successful?
It's always something that I've always wanted since I was a kid. I always knew I was going to be successful, but I never knew what it was going to be. Like when I was as a kid, I knew it, but I didn't know what it was.
Okay, so why is that important? Why is that important to you to be successful?
Because I want to fulfill my goal in life.
Why is it important to fulfill your goal in life?
Because I don't want to die with regret or being unaccomplished.
That's interesting. Why is it important to you to not feel regret or be accomplished?
Because I feel like the clock's ticking and time's moving very fast.
That's not why it's important to you.
No?
No. That's a reason why it's important. That's a reason why you want it, but not the importance of it. Yeah, you got about 3 or 4 questions in, and then it's like,
shit.
What? Yeah.
Why is it important?
Right. So I did this whole thing, and for me, it was it's important to me because I need to be seen.
Okay.
That's my childhood trauma. That's whatever the thing is.
Right.
I
like that answer. I want to steal your answer.
It's funny. For me, it was a breakdown. I go back with the question when if someone says to me, "Why is it important for you to be successful?" I want to know, what do you define as success?
Yeah, it's a big
and
question.
Then we'll just keep going back and forth because people can say, "Well, I was on TV. I did this, I did that." I had someone recently ask me this why, and it stuck with me because I was like, and they said to me, I know so many people that refer you as a trainer. Why do you think you never made it big? And I was like, I've been training the same clients for 23 years.
What does make it big
mean? Yeah. And they said, well, you never were on TV or anything as far as being a trainer. And I was like, I've been training. I don't know if you heard me, but I've been training the same clients for 23 years. That's success.
Yeah.
I am helping people get to their goals what they want to do. That's success. Mm-hmm. I don't understand what you're talking about.
Right, you're not celebrity
got into
trainer.
A shell.
Who wants to do that?
I guess that's what they were talking about, but I don't define that. That's not success for me. I don't know any trainers that have been training the same clients for 23 years. I have the same clientele. Did you hear me? Mm-hmm. For 23 years.
Well, I know why.
I'm successful.
Yeah, you're very successful. Not only have you made money, right? You've made an impact, and you've made relationships that feed both of you, right? There's this win-win.
That's the key. The third one you said is the key because anyone can be a personal trainer. Anyone can train someone. Mm-hmm. But if you don't find your person and you're able to stick with that person 1, 2 years, 3 years, 23, don't ask me why I didn't make it big.
It's like lifetime friends.
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah. It's that support system.
What are you talking about?
Right. One of my big goals creating this business, because I've had other ones, the PR business, was I wanted to pay for college in cash. That's what success meant to me for that.
Mm. Okay, so that in itself to me is a great answer.
That's for yourself or for your kids?
For the kids.
For your kids.
Yeah, for my kids. I'm lucky enough my parents paid for college. I didn't have any debt, and I didn't want them to go away with debt.
So you putting that out there, you will do anything you can to make that happen.
Right, and when I'm thinking about my numbers, and I'm thinking about who I'm working with, and I'm thinking about how I'm doing it, look, I just got a new client. She paid for next year.
There you go.
Awesome.
That's how it starts. So I would say, and you probably already have this in your thing, you write down your goal, and then that's how you're going to get to work to that. Because if you don't know, right?
Right. I know how many clients I have availability for, how many one-on-one clients I have availability for, what that's all going to cost me, what my overhead costs are. Oh, yeah. I think a big problem for the entrepreneurs listening, you don't know your numbers.
Yeah.
And you don't know your debt numbers. Maybe you know how much money you're making from I have 10 clients, $10,000 each, 10 grand. Great. Mm-hmm. Okay, but what's your overhead numbers? What are those numbers? How much is your VA? How much is your Zapier? How much is your Zoom? How much is all those stuff? You're making $2,500. You need to make a change. Right? What's your tech stack?
Right.
Your tech stack costs.
Yes.
That's a big, and I think that people wait to their 3, 4, 5 years in before they go back and think about that.
Yeah.
That is true.
That's huge.
I did that.
We all did that. Yeah. Before we had businesses before there was the internet.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Right.
We've all been in business for a long time.
I've done that multiple times.
But understanding that, for me, working with brands and PR, people work with me for a piece of it. People work with me to create what their brand's feel is, what they're going to do, what their messaging is. I don't do placement. I'm not going to get you on Good Morning America. That hurt my heart and gave me heart palpitations too much.
When you did that?
Working with agency clients, I'm a Pisces. I cry. It just was too much for me. but my real genius is understanding who you are, what you're about, and positioning you the right way so that I know and I can tell you which way to go from there. Right. But I had to hire people to go do that. I have amazing women that work with me. Mm-hmm. I can call up those people and be like, hey, we need to have Joyce on.
Right.
But those relationships are important to me. So I continue having those relationships as I build my business, and then I can make everything work and understanding what my numbers are so that I can go fly and support them in something they're doing. Or I can have them for a weekend in a hotel and we're figuring something out. Understanding what that all looks like and then how it couples with your goals. I got 2 more years of school and then the kids are out and then there'll be a different goal.
Right.
Yeah.
But I know how much I need to work and how much I need to make and how much I need to do in each quarter.
Right.
Until I did that, I don't think I had a real business, to be honest. I think I was just kind of
just going
playing, figuring it out.
Yeah.
But once I had, I need 16 of this, I need 4 of this, I need 3 of this, then I could bring it together. But I've done all of that by using media to get visibility for all the things I do.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is success.
Yes.
That is to me.
I think it's success.
That's a cheat code. I have one that I say often. Sometimes I feel like I'm chasing money. Mm-hmm. I feel like I feel
real estate, yeah.
I'm just chasing money. I feel like the bills are coming in, and I am trying to figure out. You're trying to figure out everything, And sometimes things get pushed back, and I feel like, shoosh, I feel like I'm just chasing money so I can just catch up a little bit. So I understand what you mean by that, and that's actually really valuable information. I don't think people think that way. I can say probably like 80% of people do not think that way.
No, they don't. And I've had amazing coaches and mentors help me learn how to do that.
Yeah.
That's
important.
I'm bad at math. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
I'm very bad at math. I did algebra 2, was like and I went to private school. They didn't really make me do it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's okay.
I
Concentrate on your clean cocktails.
my husband's good like that, but I have a bookkeeper. She's amazing, and she goes through everything, and she yells at me when she needs to, and she tells me what I'm doing. She's like, spending too much money here, spending too much money there.
Yeah.
I would fire my VA to have that instead.
Wow.
Because I can't pay the VA if I don't have that.
Yep.
True.
And I think people, like you said, wait until year 3, 4, or 5. Like, if you're starting a business, as soon as you have income, you need to have somebody looking at your numbers.
Yeah.
Because just like it's hard to do your own messaging, it's hard to do your own numbers.
Yeah.
And that, for me, understanding those so that I'm going to speak in Vegas in May. Like, I need to know that I can go afford to do that.
Right.
True.
And then how many clients I need to get there so that I can do the next thing.
Right.
Because, I'm going to get clients while
Of course
I'm
you
there.
are. Of course you are.
I'm working it. I have a new offer for those people.
What are some other things you're working on now?
I'm working on a TV show concept. I am tired of people believing that digital entrepreneurs post on Instagram for a living, because they don't. They create impact. They create possibilities for people to change their lives 100%, for people to go from homeless to $7 million in 3 years. It's possible. I have friends that have done it. So I have a couple of new things coming out. I have a new TV show that I'm working on that I just actually yesterday emailed a producer at a morning show. So we'll see what happens.
All right.
But essentially...
One email?
No. I sent her an email. I spoke to her. I explained to her what it was. She was so happy to help me. And I was like, what can I do for you? One of the, nothing. She's amazing. And hopefully one day I can say what her name is out loud.
Right.
But I sent her the follow-up email today. And essentially what I wanted to do was show, again, somebody who makes a product who can't afford to work with me.
Right.
Who can't afford to work with my friends. They're just not there yet.
Right.
But if we could give her an hour of our time and come together and show what that looks like on TV.
Yeah.
Show what it looks like to do a photo shoot and a style
Like from
shoot.
start to
and
finish.
if you have a food product, or what does that cooking segment look like? You're not going to just show up and do it.
Right.
What does the marketing look like? What do you need to bring in your brain so that you can go on TV and do
Right.
it? Because I think a lot of entrepreneurs, parents, don't get what they do.
Right.
And I want to show what it looks like.
Yeah.
So I think it's like Queer Eye meets Marcus Lemonis, or Queer Eye meets the women in the boardroom.
I like it.
I'm going to bring that together. I have been thinking about a book called Rose-Colored Glasses.
Really?
Yes, honestly.
I knew that. That's
honestly, I have always kind of worn rose-colored glasses.
Have you?
Yeah.
They're my favorite.
Well, it's because I just don't see why it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
I just don't see why it's not going to.
Yeah,
What do you
exactly.
mean I'm marrying a guy who lives at home with his parents and is a jeweler? Like, we'll be fine.
Yep.
We'll have 3 kids and a
Yeah.
house and a
I
dog.
just
and,
naturally see pink.
No, I don't see the negative possibilities.
Yeah, I get it.
So I wanted to write a book to that. I did want to call it something about like the overprivileged Jewish white girl in
love
Jersey, but my friends were like, that's probably a bad idea.
I don't think so.
That's the byline.
I feel like that should be the second.
Yeah,
second line.
because that's
It
who I
sticks.
am, 100%
Yeah, that's your
who I
story
am.
that you were saying. Don't hold back from that.
No.
If that's what you are, that's what you are.
Right. And talking about like what it is to just have an idea and make it happen. And I have a framework around it, how you go from idea to make it happen. But I use visibility as the key holder. I just did a call 2 days ago, and I told a room of women how to amplify their podcast interviews. Because I said, who here does anything but post it in their story? I'm sure you guys go crazy when somebody's here and they post it once in their story.
Yeah, they're done with it.
They're like, why did you come?
Right.
What?
And no one
keep pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So I have 10 steps that you do for that. And it was amazing how people were just blown away by the simple framework of how to like share a podcast,
Right.
and what to do and who to tell and how to tell it and all the things that go along with it, that I do that. I think that people often listen to what they're telling you. Create a webinar, do a funnel. I've never done a paid ad in my life. Like, you don't need to do it that way.
Yeah.
You can get on every podcast from your friend, go in the local paper, go in the regional TV show. Like, that is available to you, but all you need to do is ask for it.
Yeah.
It's really all you need to do.
Yeah.
And I don't know why people think it's so difficult. I really don't, because it's like behind this like scary
Do you
wall.
think they're afraid to ask?
Yeah. I do.
Do you think it's imposter syndrome?
I don't understand that one.
What do you mean by imposter syndrome?
I think people feel like
I'm like, keep doing this.
like they're not stretch it out. They feel like they're not gonna be taken seriously, or like let's say in real estate you get this big client, and then you feel like, he's gonna realize, maybe I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But
that's lack of confidence, right?
Yeah, that would be the opposite of
you know what I think it is?
Self-amplified confidence.
I think it's bombarding information, just a lot of info that just weighs down on you. So I'm going to tell you why I said that, because it happened to me today. So in the morning, I go to the gym in the morning, and if I do elliptical, for cardio, I'll watch some type of like educational type pod.
You're not watching Bravo?
Something.
No. I'm watching something
Real
to kind of give me some type of knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes no, but sometimes yes. So today I watched something about real estate of I forget the guy's name, but he was talking about 14 common mistakes to lead gen.
Okay.
And a lot of what he said was stuff that I've done. And he was saying, he's like, number 14, Facebook ads. It's the lowest rate of whatever.
Return.
And I'm like, holy shit, I just stopped my Facebook ads like 4 weeks ago. I wasted all that money.
Yep.
And then he was going through just 13 up, and I'm like, wow, yeah, I've ended all these things because I've realized in experience that they're not working. But like a newer person that comes in is going to go through the same rabbit hole.
Right.
So I think for me, what you just said is, because when I entered into the business, it's what I was supposed to do. You know, you're supposed to do this. I'm like, all right, I want to be successful.
Right.
To your point, so let me do all these things. All these are not working. Why isn't it? What am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that might be a little bit part of it as well.
I totally agree. And I think for real estate agents, because I work with real estate agents often, they're just stuck in, I'm a real estate agent. And I was like, what else is there about you? Why should that client pick you over you?
Yeah.
Because maybe you breed pit bulls.
Yeah.
I have 2 pit bulls. That's why I love my dogs.
Too.
Do you?
Yeah.
See?
Blue nose.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have staffies.
Okay.
But like, so I have a pit bull. You have a pit bull. It's like that Chris Rock joke.
Yeah.
You like sports? I like sports. But it really is about people, right?
Yeah.
I always wonder, because I get that New Jersey magazine, and there's all these real estate agents, and I'm like, who's picking a real estate person out of here?
Smart.
Do you just throw it up?
Yeah.
But I think Pete, once I asked him, why would somebody pick him? And he said, because I'm a problem solver.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great answer.
Yeah.
But how are you telling the world that you're a problem solver?
That's what we want to get to.
And Pete we trust. That's my slogan.
I love it. I looked at your stuff today.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I could tell a lot of who you were. But a lot of people in your position don't do that. They're just a real estate agent.
They don't do that. No, you're right.
And they're just
because everyone's just running the race.
But you probably could put more of that you're a problem solver out there, like in layman's terms. I feel like more people would be like, oh.
Now that you said that, you know what? I don't really do that as much.
You don't.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
Wow, you give me so much information right now.
The reason I say it is because you said that to me once when I said, why would somebody pick you? You said I'm a problem solver. I was like, he is a problem solver. But then you don't
Because
do
to like
that a lot.
Beth's point, I don't look at the negative. I look at the positive side of things. I look at the, everyone's like, oh, but this is gonna break, and I'm like, well, how can we fix it?
Right.
So I like that you said that, because that's who I am.
That's how you work.
And I don't like negative stuff. Like, I'm like, come on, there's always a better way to do it.
I love that. I love that too.
You wear rose-colored glasses.
I'm gonna start. As soon as you get me a pair for my birthday.
It's always makes me think of content-wise, like what problems have you solved for your clients lately, and why can't you do content to that? It doesn't always have to be selling and building and whatever you're doing. It can also be you. Maybe you're starting to put out content that you work out. Yeah. And maybe somebody at the gym was like, I saw that. I saw you working out. We actually met because we were
personal trainers back in the day, a long time ago, in the same gym.
That's going to attract clients. That's so funny. But that's going to attract clients. Right? That's going to attract people to you. Oh, he's more than just real estate. Yeah. He's into his health and he eats chicken or like whatever it is.
He's funny. He's very funny. Comedic. Like, he's very funny.
You know what I did recently?
What?
I didn't tell a lot of people. I started doing stand-up comedy.
I saw that on your Facebook. Really? You saw I commented. You said everybody should comment. I was one of the first ones.
Where at?
This girl's living room.
Okay.
Like legit, it was.
Oh, I was looking for like a club. I was
no, not
let
yet.
me know, I'll show up.
We'll get there. But yeah, I was like, I need to do something that's outside my comfort zone. And the intention was for me like bring my audience along the ride with me, but I chickened out. I did. I was like, I need to I'm doing it again. The first class is tomorrow.
You're very funny though.
I appreciate it.
Well, you're taking
Thank
a
you.
class to...
It's a class to do stand-up. So
Okay.
I did a 7-minute set.
Okay.
And people laughed the whole time. It was all our friends, so it wasn't
Right.
like they weren't going to laugh. But a professional said to me, "You speak, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "I could tell," because when I do my talks, I speak. But it's something that I wanted to do to bring myself out of my business, and my clients could see that I'm not just here.
Right. You're
I'm
right.
not just this.
I like it.
That's pretty cool.
Recently, I did a talk, and I was in Orlando. Don't go to Orlando.
I don't plan on going anymore. No.
I'm sorry, whoever lives in Orlando. I did
After I
not
went
like
to
it.
Walt Disney and all that, I'm not going back.
I'm not
anymore.
into that stuff. I didn't like it. I was speaking at an event. I paid for the video, right? All the stuff. It's standing room only. There's 3 minutes to game time. The audio's not working. My deck's not connecting. So you know me. I literally stand in the middle of the room and I'm like,
you were yelling.
"Hey everybody, what's going on?" And I turned around to this
Teacher
woman
voice.
and I go, "Who's from Jersey?" I didn't know what else to do. Who's from Jersey? This girl raises her hand and I go,
One?
One. I go, "It's your job to tell everybody else that I don't speak fast. I'm just from Jersey." The whole room erupts and I was like, "Gotcha."
I love it.
And then
awesome.
6 minutes later, I got the microphone.
Yeah.
And then I did my presentation. But how many people came up to me afterwards? "You were amazing. You were so funny. You were so this." Because problem solver. What was I going to do?
Yeah.
Right.
Cry in
Just
the corner?
Stand there
Right.
and be like,
Just
oh,
walk off,
no.
like,
Or be like, because I didn't change my shoes. If you see on my Instagram, there's photos of me. I'm wearing a pink skirt and a black tank top because I didn't put my jacket on because I was starting to sweat because it wasn't working.
Yeah.
I'm wearing sneakers. Like, all the things I had
my
set
God.
up didn't
Right.
work.
didn't work.
Did I get clients
it
from
worked.
it? 100%.
Yeah, it worked.
And did I show the failure? Not just that I did a good job,
Yeah.
but that I got failure from it.
But you also showed your true self. Like, that's
And I
who
was
you
like,
are.
this is unbelievable. What am I like?
That's funny.
It was just crazy.
The funny thing is, if you can go anywhere and say who here is from Jersey, and you'll get at least one person. That's the
was like,
best.
That's great.
There was
Thank
also
God someone's here.
a friend of mine in the audience, and I was like, "You, ma'am." I'm like, "What's your
Really?
brand?" Oh yeah, I was like, "What's your brand?"
I
Let's
love
talk
it.
about brand messaging.
Was she in?
Red, and then I go, "She's actually my friend," and then everyone laughed
that
again.
was good. That
That's
was
funny.
good.
But she was not happy with
That's
me
super
afterwards.
funny.
No,
See, I would have been going back and forth. With
I know you would.
Well, actually,
She wasn't like actually a friend. She was like somebody I met
You
there,
knew,
and I was
right.
like, "Hi."
right.
It was one of those. But going back to the content, it's like that everyday content. The content, I'm getting ready, I'm doing my hair, I'm
Yeah.
coming here to see you.
Yeah,
Like,
that was cool. By the way, that was very cool.
That's what I teach
I
people
was
to
traveling here, that's why I didn't see it till later. But I was like, that's cool. I love
do. My
it.
little purple rose
I
like your
love it.
shirt. But it's that piece of, it's not just about your business. People buy people, right? People want to
Yeah.
work with people.
Yeah.
So what is it about you that people want to be in on? And I always talk about being on podcasts like this. And if you go back and listen to this podcast again, audience member, you'll see in the first question the first answer I gave you, who I work with, what I do, and what I offer. Those are the first things that I said. And then you get to learn about me, right? With that subconscious
Interesting.
programmed into you.
Yeah.
This is what she does. This is what she's about. And then as you listen to me, you fall in love.
Yeah.
Of course,
I mean,
of course. Or I'm not your person, but at least you know what I'm doing.
right. What do you think about AI?
I love AI.
I think you're someone fun to ask.
I was that girl in 8th grade that had a Radio Shack computer.
Okay.
You know,
Radio Shack. Man.
I did. And I was on message boards. And I remember this guy's handle was like Dr. No.
Okay.
But I didn't know what Dr. No was when I was in 8th grade. So I wrote, does Dr. No mean never yes? And I got banned from the message board. I was probably the only girl.
Oh my God.
Not probably. I was the only
Yeah,
girl.
exactly.
I use AI to help my clients who are stuck. So if you're writing a pitch, and you're stuck on ideas, or you're creating content and you're stuck on ideas, I think it's great for that.
Okay.
I think you can't have it write everything for you because it doesn't sound like you.
Right.
Even if you
Right.
like program it and make it, it says these words,
Yeah.
right? It gives you extra adverbs and adjectives, and it kind of makes it salesy and kind of wishy-washy. I think
you
it's
can turn it into yours.
It's
Right.
your
Like, you
template
can turn it
to
in-
change it and make it more.
So what I like to
particular
do
you.
is write something up, have it written for me through AI. I like Claude. Him and I are friends. And then
You're on first name basis.
we're like,
I mean,
and then chat, I call him Henry. I don't know why they're all male.
Yeah.
Because I have boys and everything's a male
Okay.
and my dogs are
the
boys. so-
Chat GPT.
Yeah, I
That's-
call him
that's
Henry.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I wanted to name a child
Okay.
Henry. My
Mine's
husband
Roberta.
said no.
I have no idea why.
Female though. Interesting.
I think because my dog's female.
Maybe. So I like to put it in, let it give me the print out, like give it to the output,
Feedback, yeah.
and then rewrite it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Or here's an article. Give me the top points. Here's a transcript. Write me 3 content pieces for Facebook from this transcript. Like I'll put the transcript of this in, of my piece of it.
Yeah, I like that.
And then it'll give me that content for there.
Yeah.
I think, you can use it for good or you can use it for evil.
Yeah, of course.
But I think it's a godsend for
With
people who
everything.
have a hard time copywriting.
Yeah.
Because conversion copywriting is really hard. Yeah. And so I just had this launch I told you for the Fame Lab. I doubled my numbers by last time. I also spent $7,000 last time on a copywriter to write me emails. This time I just wrote emails. And it saved myself $7,000 and it doubled my show up rate, it doubled all the stuff. Because I think a lot also going back, because I want to give content to the entrepreneurs that are listening, we always want to hire out stuff that's hard for us to do.
Yeah,
but when we start doing that too early is when we're going to lose it and we're going to lose the business.
Yep.
And that's copywriting. I think that I definitely was hiring that out too much or not giving them enough. Like, oh, they're a copywriter, they'll figure it out. They know my brand voice.
Right.
They didn't.
Right.
So somebody always says, I want somebody else to do my social media. Please don't do that.
Yeah, I hate
It's
that.
not
Like,
you. I
it's
feel like
not
I can
you.
always go on.
I
and
don't
look.
like that.
Some of the people that I work with, I can always look. I'm like, that's not them.
Right.
Yep.
They didn't say that's not them.
I do
can
have
tell.
social media supporting me. They do a couple posts a week. I do the other couple posts a week. But I've also given them long direction of what
Yeah.
this looks like. And I also rewrite a lot of their stuff.
Absolutely.
But
I have a
those
social
two
media
things.
person does the same thing. Well,
Yeah.
she'll go through, and then these are my posts for the week that I've already put, and she goes and posts them.
Right.
So.
But people want to hire that out, and they want to hire out. I'm going to hire this person $10,000 to do a funnel. I'm going to hire this person $10,000. I've never done any of that, and I have a very successful
I've never
business.
done a funnel either my whole life.
Because I think newer entrepreneurs get stuck on the words.
Yeah.
I need my marketing message. I need my funnel. You know what a funnel means?
Yeah.
I
lead
think
magnet.
when you're pouring beer and getting messed
I
up
think
in
a
a
cake.
college party.
Like one of my most lucrative funnels is a lead magnet to a bump to a tripwire.
Right.
And 49, 179, they're little products,
Right.
but those are the most successful because the lead magnet is what people need. I have a new lead magnet coming out in a couple of weeks. It's called How to Make 10K from Next Podcast Interview.
Oh yeah.
I've dropped some of the info here.
Okay.
And
Sign
that's
us
a good
up.
one, right?
All right.
And then I have a bump and I have all the stuff. I don't need some fancy funnel that's going to do this, that, and the other thing. Like if you're a newer entrepreneur, a funnel and a bump is a paid offer.
Right.
And I use something called Flowdesk,
I know what flow
which is like $19 a month.
Yeah, it's
And
amazing.
everything's in there. You don't have to do anything else. Newer entrepreneurs are scared. It's what we do is terrifying.
Yeah.
I don't know why we choose to do it. It's like torture. Like
Yeah, we love the chase.
we love
you
the
know.
torture.
Glowing for
I
punishment.
think so.
We do.
I do.
I don't know what it's like to show up at a job.
I don't either.
I know you don't.
I
I do. I hated it. That was my plan B. I was a teacher.
It's like
Oh God,
I hated it.
that was really showing up.
Oh, it was terrible.
I was a TV producer. We'd like come in around 10. We do our work. Like
just doing your thing.
just wasn't
See,
the- it was
I've
same
made
thing.
I've always made my own hours.
Right.
So I'm not good with someone telling me you need to be here by 9 a.m. Why?
I used to hate it. I hated
What's
it.
the reason for that?
yeah, not into it.
Yeah.
But some people don't want to do that, so they're terrified, and then they're trying to learn all this stuff, and everyone's just trying to sell them stuff.
Yeah.
So the words that come up, and the words that people use in marketing, get us into this head. I don't know enough. I'm not doing enough. I recently stopped scrolling, and please, the people listening, stop scrolling, because all it's going to do, especially on Instagram, you didn't hire the right person, you're not doing enough, you didn't do the right thing,
Comparison,
you're selling it
comparison,
wrong,
comparison,
because
comparison.
all those hooks work.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Stop looking.
I scroll maybe I'll give myself like one day a week and it's like Friends. Like fun. Other than that, I've stopped. I used to be all into, what did she say? What did she say? Why are they not saying the same thing? And they're in the same field. And I'm like, I can't with this.
I just
2
watch
hours
TikTok
go by and I have a
instead.
headache. You watch what?
I love TikTok.
TikTok? I do too. Well, it's so entertaining, but you can get drawn in for hours.
Hours, they just disappear. And I look at like TikTok hair, and I don't look at business TikTok because I have
Okay.
enough of that.
Okay.
Right? I look at hair, shopping, and reality TV
Okay.
shows.
I look at dancing. TikTok dancing. I look
Dances?
Yeah.
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 Like professional dancers, just people who are
Just people dancing in the street for no
Yes.
reason.
Yeah, they have that.
I love
just,
those couples that can do the synchronized dances.
Yeah, that's good too.
That's pretty cool
But I
too,
love
yeah.
like families or kids dancing.
Really? I'll have to look.
Yeah,
I don't think
it's
I've looked for
fun.
that stuff.
It's fun, and a lot of times they'll have young kids doing like our music, and you're like, how do they even know that song? You know,
That stuff is cool to me
It's
too.
good,
There's
right?
these like two young 15, 16-year-old kids, they'll watch old like 90s like rap or hip hop, and they'll like ooh. Oh, and they'll stop it. And be like, oh wow, that was so. That's pretty cool.
I love that. I love
I mean, like my son was like, "Have you heard of Billy Joel?"
Oh God,
no, I've never heard of that guy.
Don't know
I'm like,
Billy
I don't know
Joel.
who that is. He was like, "I heard this new song." It was like a couple years
See,
ago.
like that's cool too.
so
It brings
cute.
back like it
Yeah.
kind of connects you through like music. I think that stuff is cool.
Yeah,
Well, you mentioned Leonard Skinner before. Like that was the music playing in my house when my kids were little.
Yeah, they
like,
shoot their videos here.
Like my husband, it was all like he used to put them to sleep to James Taylor. Like
Really?
So like James Taylor would come on the radio, my kids would be like,
See, I'm a huge James Taylor fan.
Oh, I know.
Huge.
Have you seen him in person?
No, because
to.
when we were younger, I was supposed to go to a James Taylor concert of what I thought was, and it turned out to be James Taylor from Kool and the Gang. that I thought I was
Very
going to
different.
see James Taylor.
Very
Yeah.
different.
That's great.
I saw him
Not bad, but
in LA in '94. Like it was in at Universal, but it was like a 200-seat theater.
Yeah.
And he told a story. Like
he always does. He always
told
does.
like the
Yeah.
story, but I remember that like the plane one where his girlfriend died
Yeah.
and this whole, and I remember being like hysterically crying.
Yeah. What's
But
your
yeah.
favorite James Taylor song?
I don't know the names of any songs.
Okay.
So I'm bad
Caroline
like that.
on my mind is mine.
That's the one that I bought you a ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
I like certain people, but I don't know their music.
Okay.
I didn't grow up with really a lot of music in my house, and my kids like music that I don't like. So in my house, I like you're gonna hate me. I literally say, Alexa, play music.
That's it.
That's it.
No genre.
No.
No more information. Does she
Play
say,
the
can you be
hits.
more specific,
No,
Beth?
whatever she plays, I played a lot of country. She's playing a lot right
Okay.
now.
She picks her own shit.
She picks whatever she wants, whatever
like,
she's in the mood for.
This is what I'm in the mood for today.
Or my kids will
I
come
love
home
it.
and they'll say certain people. I have no idea who they are, but I'm like,
They're actually programming it behind
Like,
the scenes
they
in
should.
Alexa, and then that's what
what
she's
did I play
playing.
the other day. No, because I don't have girls, so I don't really know Taylor Swift music. So I've been listening to a little bit of Taylor Swift music, and I'm an old lady. I don't need to be listening to Taylor Swift music.
Yeah.
I don't
she's
get
a
it.
little too popish for me.
Yeah.
But I think she's super talented. Whatever.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Somebody said she wasn't an artist the other day, and I was like, on TikTok.
Oh, I saw that.
Did you see that?
Well, it was Courtney.
Yes. Love.
Kurt Cobain. Courtney Love.
Yeah.
She said it.
And I was
she
like-
said, Beyonce, you're not either.
Oh, it's just
So,
hater talk.
you know where it's coming from.
That's
I
just
didn't
hate
see that
talk.
one.
Yeah, she said
Courtney.
that too.
That's just hater talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I think that's
Oh,
important
Courtney.
to like, I think it's important to, for people to talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. To talk about your opinions. I don't like
Yeah, of
Courtney Love's
course.
opinion,
Of
but
course.
talking about that stuff. And I think that because what we see online is so shiny.
Yeah.
Right. And everything's good. And going back to like the hooks are most to make you feel bad. And like you said earlier, I don't like horror films. I don't like FBI and CIA, whatever that. If the color of my shirt is the color of the poster, I will watch that movie.
Okay.
Right? Like I like the nice stuff. So when you're thinking about what you're putting out in the world, instead of going negative, let's go positive. Let's talk about what you're solving. What's the latest problem you solve for a client?
Shit. It's like I saw different, like it's real estate is so complicated because it's like a ton of different moving parts. I don't know. It's like one thing after the other. It's not anything specific, but lately, so I have a car wash on their contract, and there's like a lot of people involved. So I'm like the middleman, and I'm navigating like 3 different people trying to get everyone on the same page. So I finally did it like recently, which took like probably 2 months. Which at the end of the day, it was these 3 people just complicating things more than they needed to. They were overly communicating and getting everything. And I'm just like, all right, everyone take a step back. You guys are complicating this more than it needs to be. Just relax.
Right.
Let's just move forward and everything will be okay. Wow, that's a great idea.
That's a great question, by the way.
And then it's like, boom. So that's the
Yeah.
one thing I could say off the top
Well,
of
that'd
my
be
head.
a great video. An educational video, like the point of view, like when you're doing a real estate deal, you are complicating it. You are the problem. People like me, we solve you.
Yeah.
Like, and I'd be like, oh, he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. Well, 90% of the time is other people complicating things.
Yes.
And you also throwing that car wash in the video, I think would be super interesting because I'm like, dang, he does deals with car washes. too?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually my
contact my friend.
it's actually my first one. So
I didn't know that.
yeah, I typically I just do residential.
The
some
VC or
commercial.
somebody's buying it.
So actually, one of my clients is buying the car
Oh,
wash.
interesting.
Yeah, so it's actually pretty cool. I learned a lot from like just moving around there. Yeah.
So totally off topic. There's this new reality show. I know you don't know who this is. So there was a show called Joe the Millionaire, or like there was two guys trying to date all these girls. One was a millionaire, one wasn't.
Okay.
The guy who was the millionaire, actually his family owns a big farm.
Okay.
It's called McBee. I forget their names or whatever. They're opening car washes. You should go watch it. Like, it was really interesting. Like, their plan, I think they borrowed $110 million from a VC to open 15 car washes or something in that range. You probably enjoy it. It was really interesting. Cool. It was interesting, but it wasn't, I wanted the show to work. It's like 4 brothers and a single dad, like so cute, but the dad is a disgusting dog and cheated on his girlfriend already, and I'm out. Like, I'm out.
Beth, where can people find you online?
Beth Nydick everywhere. BethNydick.com, on every platform. I'm Beth Nydick. And
Nydick is Nydick.
NY, New York.
I just wanted to spell that.
Dick. That's how you say it. I know. I'm married. I love him. Thank God he's cute. But I want to say to your listeners, like, honestly, if they have a question, like, DM me. I answer my own DMs.
Well, we are not finished with you yet. We have one more little thing. We'd like to ask our guest here to give the next guest, whoever it's going to be, you don't know, but a gem.
A gem.
Entrepreneurial gem.
I'm going to go back to my gut. That message in your gut that you're not telling anybody, but you know that's the thing you need to be speaking on. Yeah. Ask them what it is.
I love it.
Nice.
Beth, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
you. And with
Beth.
that, we are going to end this and remind you guys that we are on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Yes. And if this resonates with you, join our community, because we promise the best is yet to come.
And share it.